So we've just watched Wicked.
So you're not saying hi?
Okay, hi guys. Sorry, it's Pilar.
I'm Raj.
And today we're giving a review of the show. I've never actually watched the musical. I've never read the book. Raj knew the name for every single song that they sang. I was just like, what? And you kept on bringing up Wizard of Oz. I was like, what is the correlation here?
How did you not see? So it was so funny because in the beginning you do see a shot of Dorothy with the Tin Man.
I think I was like, oh, is that Lion King? And she was like, no, it's, what's his name?
It's the lion. The scaredy lion. I can't remember what the scaredy lion is in Wizard of Oz, but it's that thing. And the thing is, it's so funny because I feel like you're in the same boat as so many people because we grew up with 5 channels.
Yeah.
Having grown up with 5 channels, Wizard of Oz and Return to Oz.
Our age.
Yeah. And Return to Oz, it was like on TV all the time. So every time it was on TV, like I would watch it because I was obsessed with it. Like even the OG Wizard of Oz, but like the remakes of it. And there was that thing of Return to Oz, and it was much darker, and it was like the lady with all the like heads, and she would swap her heads, and that was the witch.
I have no memory of this whatsoever.
I have so many memories of this because it was just like all I would watch all the time. But it's the thing of like kids of today, they're not going to have that reference.
No, definitely not.
And I don't even know how familiar with Wizard of Oz they would be unless they've read like fairy tale books of it.
But hold on, actually, I take that back because aren't the books we grew up on still the books they grew up on today? Because I thought like The Lion King has just been around for ages. It just passes down through generations.
The Lion King, yeah, as a Disney movie, right? But The Wizard of Oz, is there a Disney version? Is there like a movie that I don't know, does everyone watch the old school Wizard of Oz? The one where like, you know, they're singing and they're like, we're off to see the wizard.
The wonderful Wizard of Oz. I would assume so. I don't know. Like, is there new like childhood legends?
I think every Disney movie just gets remade.
Okay, but a remake
so everyone watches the remakes, right?
Okay,
so
yeah,
like that's how the younger generation find that stuff. Or it's like if your parents are shoving it down your throat.
I would have assumed so. I'm sure they don't just listen to Peppa Pig every day. Like,
I don't know.
They must go back to the, you know,
the classics.
The classics, yeah. That's what I'm gonna call it. The classics.
Yeah, I've read Wicked the book. I've almost finished it. I've got 100 pages left.
How big is it?
I think it's like 497 pages.
Okay, you've done well.
I've done all right, man. And it's actually so much darker than the movie, and it's a bit more raunchier.
Oh.
And
I remember in one of the opening scenes, you were like, "Oh, so her mum was a hoe in the book."
I was trying to explain that, like in the book, he, you know, because the dad's away a lot. The mum, Elfie's mum, plays away a lot.
That's why she has a green child.
And you see the second father, like you see who Nessa Rose's father is.
Okay.
And you get to know him and like who he is and stuff.
So does the dad know that?
Yeah, in the
kids?
book, the dad is actually a bit in love with Nessa Rose's dad.
What? Okay.
The book is proper like, and like,
so it's proper progressive, like.
Oh my god! And the book came out in 1995.
Okay.
So I was just like, wow. Even when I was reading it, I was like, wow, this is like, I'm gonna read all of the rest of the follow-up books to it because I think there's 4.
Okay.
It's a series of 4 books. I'm just like, yeah, I'm ready to delve into this world. It's really exciting, and it's a lot darker. And like, there's deaths in it, like graphic deaths and violent deaths, and yeah, like they didn't have any of that in this. Obviously, this is staying truer to the musical.
Yeah.
Than it is to the book.
Do you know what? For the amount of times I have seen this musical literally promoted everywhere, I feel like Wicked has been showing for years, like non-stop.
20 years.
That's crazy.
20 years of the musical, yeah.
Crazy. I don't know. I've never had the urge to like, oh, let me go down and watch it.
It's because you weren't a little Gleek, innit?
No.
I was a little Gleek, so I like Defying Gravity. I heard that on Glee, and I definitely have heard it before. I just didn't know why I knew it.
Yeah.
But I guess I've been around like musical theatre shit quite a bit and I just didn't know. Sometimes you don't realise, right?
Yeah.
Until you hear the song, you're like, oh, that's where it's from.
That's where it's from.
Oh, that's
so they have crossover songs, or Glee took the song from Wicked?
Glee just covers loads of songs. It would just cover loads of songs. Every like thing they would do would just be covers.
Yeah, yeah.
So they covered Kanye West, they covered everyone.
Okay. Okay, it makes sense. It's making a lot of sense. But I think the press run for the film has been incredible. Like, even if you wanted to ignore it, you couldn't.
There's no way
They're
in hell.
everywhere.
It's been memeified.
They've been very emotional.
Yeah.
Like Cynthia and Ariana.
And I had to explain why.
Like, I don't get it. Why?
Because
obviously
like,
they have like a really strong bond, strong relationship.
Yeah.
But why the tears on the press run?
Because like, imagine like Ariana was 10 years old watching Wicked, and she had met like the original Glinda, the lady who you saw in the film.
Yeah.
And she was like, I want to grow up and play Glinda. I want to play Glinda.
Wow, crazy.
At 10, and now it's actually happened for her. And Ariana was one of those people, like when she heard about the auditions happening, when she heard that this was getting made into a movie, she was on tour, and she was like, I'll cancel the tour if I have to. I want to start training my vocals.
Wow.
Because she knew that to get the sound of Glinda, that the sound of Glinda was a bit more operatic than the way that she sings normally.
Do you know when you're saying that though, like, of what I see of Ariana, like I know the girl can blow, like she can really, really
100%.
sing. So I wouldn't think that was needed, but is it a different type
It's her art form, right?
Yeah.
She's going to take that shit serious. And like in all the interviews where she's talked about it, she's been like, you have to train your muscles to move in a certain way. So I wanted to start doing that. So it would like come easy to me. And one thing about this film was that they sang live.
Oh, everything was sang live?
They sang live. They didn't do, so the soundtrack is done in a studio.
Okay.
But what we hear in the film, they've actually taken that from video roll.
Okay.
They've done that on set, which is crazy.
I suppose the one thing I've noticed about her vocals is that, you know, a lot of people say that Ariana like R&B-fies her voice.
Yeah.
In her songs, you can hear like the different.
It was so funny, yeah.
But that's not there in the film at all.
People were like, there's remixes, there's AI versions of like songs from Wicked where they've like R&B Ariana fired it, and they're like, yeah. And they actually sound great, and we were just like, oh, they should have put that in the end credits.
So yeah, I thought that Cynthia kind of brought that R&B or soulful. Like I think that there was some of the runs she did, I felt like, okay, she was bringing some flavour to it. And she's not the one that normally does that. Like, she's proper musical theatre trained. Like, that's her bag. But I thought maybe because she's more comfortable with it, that's why she could, like, bring certain elements in of herself to the songs. Did you hear that in it?
No.
Some of her runs, I could hear it. I was like, okay. I could hear Miss Beyonce, Miss Mariah doing something like that.
Really?
Yeah. Like, she brought some flavour into it. Like,
I feel like there was a lot of soul, 100%.
Yeah.
And yeah, with Ari, like, obviously, it's a lot, the pitch is very different.
Got you.
Right? But we were just, like, in tears laughing at Ariana's character and her acting.
She was so good.
Immediately, I think 5 minutes in, we were like, she's going to get an Oscar for this.
Well, Raj said that.
I
don't know anything about Oscars.
I think she's going to get an Oscar for this, and I think she deserves it. And I'm just kind of like, I did actually say that I think, like, next year it will be Cynthia. I think this year it's going to be Ari. Because I think with part 2, like, you're going to see Elphaba really, like, come into her own.
Okay.
And this was, like, the setup. This movie is kind of like the setup for Elphaba to fly. And obviously you see that at the end of Act 1. But in terms of, like, what Ari's brought to this movie, pure comedy, pure gold moments.
It was so good, yeah.
So good. Like, she's had so much fun with it. We were laughing the whole way through.
Yeah. I think, like, she really embodied that, like, diva-esque vibe. Do you know what it
like,
was?
In
It
a
was the
playful
lean.
way.
It was the lean for me. She...
Oh my God, the hair was so funny. She's so good.
She was so good.
I want to see her in more movies. I want to see Ariana in a rom-com.
Well, it'd be good to see, like, how she can adapt to other types of films. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
this is my first time seeing her act.
I've seen her in, like, she did this Netflix movie where she was effectively playing, like, a blown-up version of herself.
Okay.
What was it called? It was like that Leonardo DiCaprio one about the environment and all of that.
No idea.
This is the end? This is how it ends? I don't know.
Okay.
I think, like, she's always had it in her. We know she's, like, mad about Jim Carrey. You know, she does all the, what's that word? Impressions. She does SNL regularly. She's like twice or 3 times, right?
Yeah, I've seen her do those a couple of times. I've always thought she's good, but I think here we see her really in her acting bag.
100%. She was so, like, she nailed Glinda to a T. She brought Glinda to life in ways that I just didn't. Yeah, it was really good. But it was camp, but it wasn't like camp. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it was good. It was just her. Like, I was just like, okay, I don't feel like I'm watching Ariana the singer. Yeah. I feel like I'm watching Ariana the actress.
Yeah, which is crazy because it's like, it opens and you can hear her singing and you know that it's her singing. You don't see her, you know it's her singing, so you're like, oh, I can tell that's Ari, but then, like, the acting was just like, wow.
No, it was so good. Cynthia was obviously incredible, but I think that was really expected because I've watched lots of Cynthia films and she is just like a powerhouse, right? I thought that this was light work for her.
Yeah, I have to be honest, same. I don't think, like, that she managed to get, well, I don't think there was a lot to play within this act to get into the grit of this character.
No.
And I think that's all to come in Act 2. I've only seen Cynthia in Widows and on Broadway in New York on The Colour Purple.
Oh my gosh, how was that?
When I tell you, it was fucking harrowing. Like, we were all bawling in the audience. Everyone was crying. I heard people sobbing in the audience.
Wow.
But it was the best thing I've seen on Broadway, without a doubt. Like, I've not had a better experience on Broadway.
That's her bag though, isn't it? Like,
yeah, and it was like
bag.
a limited run. Imagine she was singing with Jennifer Hudson.
Wow.
And this girl was out singing Jennifer Hudson. So actually, I feel like the singing we heard on Wicked compared to that was more held back. Because that was like, when I heard her there, like, we were, like, you were actually moved to tears. Imagine.
Yeah.
I was like, fucking hell, I was like dying. I was like, who is this girl? She's going to fucking kill us all.
Oh my gosh. I've seen her in Harriet, right? And she was like, that movie is deep, yeah? Like, it's based on a true story, and it's all about the freedom fight, and she plays, it's almost like in Wicked, she's playing that, like, person that wants to make change.
Yes.
And Harriet is a similar kind of character, but on a much more, like, bigger scale, still, you know, like a freedom fighter type of thing. So I've seen her play these kind of characters before, and I would almost say that I thought she played Harriet better than she did. I think this was fun for her.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think it was necessarily
I think this is iconic for her. Yeah, it didn't seem like it was a challenge at all.
But I think she's earned the right to take 100%. On, like, fun roles. And I think maybe the challenge for her here was working alongside somebody where it's like they complement each other instead of outshining each other. And I think that both of them did that so beautifully.
Yeah, 100%. It was so beautiful to watch. I was really excited when Popular started, and even Defying Gravity. I was just like, oh my God, this is amazing.
So this is Defying Gravity the last song? Okay. Because I had seen, like, an interview she did on the cutting room floor. I saw a couple of the clips on TikTok, and she was saying that some of the other songs she's had to take on before are, like, much. Basically, they were asking her, like, what, you've sang so many big songs across your career, like, what is harder? And she was saying that what was challenging with Wicked is that when you're singing alongside somebody, because it's not always the case where, like, voices blend together. Yeah. But theirs did blend.
Them two have been singing a cappella in their interviews, Pilar. They did, like, a Whitney Houston cover. I actually DM'd Ariana Grande like a dickhead.
Oh, like, no, you did not, right?
I was like, Ari, when is the Cynthia collab album dropping? You gotta make it happen. This was epic, or this was magical. I don't know what I said. But I didn't. I was just like, okay, I'm gonna DM Ariana Grande.
You like give her flowers.
If that album happens, it's because of me.
I'm screaming.
You don't need to give me a card.
Okay, so obviously I didn't know the story of Wicked, but
you read all of it on Wikipedia. She read all of it. Pilar's one of those people. You go to the cinema and they see the cinema and they're like, no talking, no texting, no this, no that. Pilar's got her phone on full brightness.
No, I turned down the brightness.
Full brightness.
I turned it down.
Light in your face.
I wasn't trying to disturb you, sis.
I could see. I was like, is she texting Mandem? Like, what is she doing?
Absolutely.
And then you're like, I'm reading the synopsis. I was like, why are you doing that?
Do you know what it is? Because I don't like surprises.
But I was telling you everything that was happening anyway.
I know, but when it feels a bit intense, I like to know what's going to happen.
Pilar screamed in one of the scenes. She screamed.
But it was scary. I wasn't prepared.
She screamed. It was really fun.
And imagine there's kids in the cinema, yeah, and there's me screaming as a big grown-up.
She was the only one that screamed in the cinema. It was so fun.
Well, I wasn't prepared.
It was good. I was really glad, because I was kind of like, as she's not really a musical fan, so is she gonna like it? And actually, she loved it.
Yeah, I did love it. Do you know what? Going in, I didn't really have any expectations, to be honest. Like, I had no expectations, but the storytelling and what the story stands for, because I think essentially it is a story of acceptance and being rejected out of society based on how you look. Like, that is essentially the beginning.
The colour of your skin.
The colour of your skin. Sis was green, do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
So instantly, as soon as that kind of, outside of like the whole Ariana having her like comedy, whatever, being funny, as soon as they set the foundation for Elfie's character, I was locked in. Because I was just like, okay, do you know what? This brings it back to reality. Like, it's relatable for everybody.
Even in this day and age, right now where we're at, I feel like it's so relevant. I thought it was actually really nice that there were kids in the screening with us, and that this is what, even though they were just not paying attention and running in and out of the auditorium, absolutely fine. But I was just like, this is quite nice for them to watch and understand. And actually, within the first 30 seconds, the first thing Pilar said to me was, it's so diverse.
It really was though, like,
and it actually, it's so true. And like, you
could feel it, you could see it, in the supporting characters, not just the main characters,
of diversity
100%.
Within the supporting characters, and like even the dance, like all of the dancers,
all of them,
and it was just so nice.
Everybody of every race represented, and then also in terms of inclusivity, like do you know what I mean? They had people. One of the main characters obviously was in a wheelchair. It's what I would call a nice inclusive show across the board. Do you know what I mean?
100%.
I don't feel like we really get that in many
others. It's very rare.
Very, very rare.
It's really rare, especially like for a film that's aimed at kids.
Yeah.
As well.
Yeah, because kids need to, you know what, it reminded me, kids are so bloody mean, yeah?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Did you ever get teased for anything when you were younger?
Yeah, I had a moustache growing up. And my moustache was like bigger than the boys' moustaches.
I'm screaming.
I remember one time I even got my dad's razor and shaved it.
Oh my god.
And everyone was like, you got rid of your touch. I was like, no, I didn't. I just woke up like this.
What would they say to you?
They would like just cuss me for having a moustache. I had hairy legs. Like, I'm Punjabi. I was fucking hairy. I've had it all lasered off now, but you're not all hating on my hair now. People are all like, oh, is that really your hair?
You got some bundles in there.
Yes, it fucking is.
I
am. But yeah, no, like, I was teased for like being a little hairy Mary.
Oh my gosh.
I can't remember what they used to call me, but it was just cussing me, innit?
Kids are so mean.
But it is what it is. It's like, now I've got better hair than all of you, so. And the boys that cuss me, your hairline's all receding.
All receding, honestly.
So, who's laughing now?
Mine was obviously my name, right?
Was it?
Yeah, they wouldn't tease. It wasn't like I got bullied, right? But it was just like I had a nickname everywhere I went. And I moved around so many schools because we moved so much.
So what were the nicknames?
There was Pillar Power Miss Feeler. We had a song, it's Pillar Power Miss Feeler.
But is that them fangirling you?
No.
That was them bullying you?
It wasn't bullying, but it's just like you get teased, you get pointed out, right? Then I had Pillar Potato, which I hated.
You had Pilar as well, didn't you?
Pilar Rice. It was non-stop. I just wanted peace. Like, can I go somewhere? The name thing just really, like, it was too much. Everyone else had really normal names. So everywhere I went, they would always give me a nickname. And it just, like, I just wanted peace. I just wanted to blend in.
It's all right. You weren't meant to blend in.
Well, girl.
So there's a little bit of alphabet in all of us.
100%. And that's why, like, when you watch it, you're just like, oh my gosh, yeah, kids are mean.
Yeah, they are mean. I loved it when she, like, chucked the stones at their knees. I was like, yeah, bam, take that. I don't encourage violence.
And then I suppose the other thing was also, like, that theme of, like, favoritism with parents.
Oh my God, yeah.
I mean, in my family, we all know my brother's the favourite, yeah. It doesn't bother me and my sister. Like, we actually tease my mum about it. But I suppose that there is circumstances in certain people's lives where that favouritism or that sibling rivalry is caused by the parents.
Yeah.
And, like, they're almost oblivious to it. Because Elfie was rejected outside the house, but also inside the house. Like, she wasn't accepted from birth in her own house.
Yeah.
And that's crazy.
And the book goes into more detail in that, which is, like, really interesting.
What did I say?
Elfie is seen, like, he accepts her. He's much nicer in the book.
Okay.
But he still sort of uses her to look after the little sister. He like, makes that her role in life. So she's, like, burdened by that. And she can't kind of have her own life.
Yeah, so, I think that's quite an oldest daughter thing as well. Just generally,
he does favoritize Nessa Rose, and he calls her pet, my little pet.
Wow.
And he doesn't, like, call her anything. And obviously, like, he gives Nessa the shoes that are gonna become the ruby red shoes.
Okay.
And Elfie's like, well, he didn't give me anything, right?
Yeah, man, that's not cool, man.
Yeah, you got
some parents are like that, and it could be something like as small as you remind me of your mother, or you remind me of your father. Do you know what I mean? It's crazy, but listen, people out here living like that.
Okay, so the film was like, what, 2.5 hours long?
It was too long.
Why are you saying it was too long?
It was too long.
It wasn't too long.
It wasn't too long for me. I don't think films should be longer than an hour and 30 minutes.
I don't believe in that.
No, it was too.
I didn't feel like it was too long.
It was good. Like everything was good. It was packaged well. Storytelling was great. Everything was great, but like you could have done that in an hour and a half.
What would you have cut out?
We could have cut out the fight scenes could have been half.
I loved the fight scenes.
They could have been.
The fight scenes with Elfie fighting. Oh my god! And then Glinda being like, "Get off my leg! Give my leg back to me."
That could have been cut.
So they were great. They were really great fight scenes. Actually, I was really happy with those.
Also, the scene with what's his name, Elfie. What's the
Fiyero
scenes. The one when he's on the horse. Cut it out.
What do you mean? That was his entrance.
Well,
Pilar, you're the one that said he's a fine man.
I mean, he looks good.
He's a fine.
But the entry in the school was just fine.
That was great. That was what.
This is, guys, we're doing a review, yeah. And she's telling me, no, this is great. That's my opinion. That's your opinion. That was like, that's my opinion.
You know, the entrance on the horse was like his. That was giving us an insight into his relationship with Elphaba to come. That was like the foreshadowing of that.
Yeah, but in my opinion, you're asking me what we could have lost.
Never hire Pilar to edit your film.
We could, guys, I promise you, hire me. Great content.
Don't hire Pilar to edit.
Great content. I could produce that shit all the way down. Yeah.
Stop.
Some of the classroom scenes could have been cut down. Some of the scenes with who's that teacher, the sorcerer,
Madame Morrible.
Yo, listen. Now she deserves a shout out.
She's gonna get a little nom, I think.
She was so good. Like her whole being looks evil.
I love her.
Like I couldn't look that woman in the face. She just everything screams evil, evil, evil.
It doesn't.
It does. She's so good.
In the beginning, you had to ask me if she was evil or not.
But the fact that I have to ask you as soon as she's introduced into the film tells me that whoever did the casting, 10s across the board.
The director, I think that was the director.
Yeah, he did good. Like, she, chef's kiss.
We love her. She is one of my favourites.
Chef's kiss.
Yeah,
and the way she finessed Elfie, great acting.
Sick. Loved her. Really, really strong cast, actually. Loved the cast.
Do you know who was irrelevant to me? The Nessa's boyfriend.
Nessa's, little...
Out, get rid.
Yeah, but okay, guys, we're not doing no spoiler. This is spoiler, okay? Nessa's boyfriend has got like a big role to play for our foreshadowing into like Dorothy, right? When Dorothy comes, because of what I told you. So afterwards, we went to Nando's, and then I read out all of Act 2 of the musical, because I realized that this film is based way more on the musical than it is on the book. So then we read all of the musical, and like we had to get into all of that of what.
Yeah, I had to understand like what.
So Bob becomes the Tin Man.
Why are you telling?
I said we're gonna have spoilers. It's gonna be spoilers.
You're telling the people.
It's gonna be spoilers. Look, we got a year. You think people aren't gonna go on Wikipedia? You think people aren't gonna? We got a whole
you
year.
Wouldn't. She wouldn't. I feel like I influenced you negatively.
I was really because I really like to see how people adapt existing stories.
Yeah.
And because this is like something that was around from like the 1930s.
Yeah.
The Wizard of Oz, right? And then it became like Wicked, and then it, like as in the book, and then it became Wicked the musical.
Yeah.
So it's like they're working with so much source material. So I always want to see like how do they create something based on all of this stuff that's so iconic, so beloved, and so like deep in the lore of people. Like you were asking me stuff, and I was like, yeah, because Oz used to be ruled by Ozma, and you were like, how do you know all this shit? And it's happening because it's ingrained.
It's a lot going on. It's a lot going on. But the film on its own sounds good on its own as well.
Yeah, 100%. And it's that thing of like, really, and I think we kind of know this anyway. We're going to enter a new cinematic universe now because Act 2 is going to be Wicked. And obviously we know that, but we know what's going to come after this, and it's going to be a Dorothy movie.
Okay.
It better be. Like, I hope that's what we're getting set up for, because I'm not getting disinvested for nothing.
But is Dorothy's story worth telling?
Yeah, of course. It's the Wizard of Oz. It's like, because then that's telling the story of the Yellow Brick Road, because we've just been introduced to the Yellow Brick Road via the Wizard.
But haven't they redone the Wizard of Oz a million times?
No. When was the last reboot of the Wizard of Oz?
I don't know, but is it needed?
Yeah. For a new generation, yes. And then, like, you know, you're going to get all these people reprising their roles. The Tin Man, Glinda and what's his face? Federa as a scarecrow. The lion.
Okay.
Okay.
I'm not sold, but I was sold on Wicked.
Pilar's gonna watch all of this.
What
stuff.
did you think of the running time?
You know what? I was really worried about the running time, mainly because for you.
Why?
Because I was just like, oh my god, she's not a musical person. I am a musical person, so you know.
Raj knew every song. Oh, this is this one. This is that. This is this. This is that.
What can I say?
I love that for you though.
I'm a little
It's
nerd.
so cute,
I'm a bit nerdy. Like, it's okay. And
but also you can appreciate. I think it's nice when two people coming from like different things can watch something, and I appreciate it a bit more because of what I'm learning from you.
And you spotted an Easter egg, like very, very quickly, didn't you, in the movie?
Was it?
Yeah, you spotted an Easter egg. I think you saw a Tin Man in the beginning.
Yeah, I saw, and the lion.
Yeah, you saw. Yeah,
and I saw something. I said to you about the water thing.
Yeah, about the water and Elfie, because they didn't really go hard on Elfie not liking water. And you know, like in the book, like it burns her to cry, and she cried in this, and you didn't see that it was like hurting her or anything like that. So I'm kind of like, oh, are they gonna touch more of that? But then Pilar was like, no, they touched on it a bit. But
a little bit, yeah. I can't remember the exact bit.
Yeah,
it was.
I guess I missed it a little, but no, runtime for me, I thought, yeah, it was great. It
3 guys, we've got to be for real, man. Why does everyone need to sit down? If it's not a series, why am I sitting down for 3 hours? That's insane.
We were in nice recliner seats. We were so comfortable. It was great. I loved it. I'll go watch it again. Easy.
Yeah.
Easy
I think you could go back and watch it and like pick out different bits that was missed.
Yeah.
Like,
I want to look for the Easter eggs. It's that thing. I saw this interview with the director, and he was like, 10 years from now, people will still be finding new Easter eggs because we put so many things in there.
Yeah.
And I was just like, damn, I need to find out all of these bits. It's like a challenge for us. We're like, oh my god, I need to find all those little hidden bits.
Yeah, I think you enjoy that. What would you give it, like, as in terms of like review numbers? What would you give it?
Yeah, review numbers. I've got to be honest. I've got no notes for this. I've got no issues with anything. Apart from like, I would have liked to have seen more of Cynthia getting into like a nitty gritty of it, but I'm kind of like, I'm expecting that for the second part.
Yeah, because that's what she can do, right?
Yeah,
like, she's got that range.
Yeah. So but you know, for everything else, and I think this is the setup, and I think this film was very much Ari's film, and the second film is going to be Cynthia's. So I'm kind of like 10-10.
10. Yeah.
10-10s. I'd watch it again. I'll go to the sing-alongs. I'll take my nieces, nephews, whatever.
Oh, they're going to be in for a good time.
I'm going to take them to watch the musical.
Raj.
Yeah, I'm just like, I'm down.
That is so cute.
It's cute. You give us
you need to let me know, like, if the kids scream when I screamed.
Oh my god, I think they're going to get scared at all there were so many little bits where Pilar was like, because these kids were in the cinema with us, and then they just kept running around. She was like, are they scared? That's why they ran out. I was like, no, they're just disinterested.
Yeah, they weren't on it.
No, yeah.
I can hear them like playing their phones as well. I was just thinking, bro, we're in a cinema. Like, chill.
Says Pilar, who was also on her phone.
Yeah, but I wasn't playing anything out loud.
She was doing homework. She was reading the synopsis.
I was reading the plot.
She likes to ruin movies for herself.
I'm not ruining it. I just don't like
surprises.
It was
so funny. So, like, the train scene comes, and Elphaba's getting on the train, and, you know, no one else is going on with her. And Pilar's like, this isn't right. This isn't right. And she just keeps getting her phone out, and she's rereading the synopsis. And I'm like, oh, in the book, Glinda gets on with her. And then
I was so confused. I was like, has Wikipedia lied to me right now?
It was so
I was
funny.
Just like so confused.
It was so funny. So I think actually, like, one thing that I will say, yeah, like, is that this film will appeal to anyone, basically.
Yeah, 100%.
It's entertaining, even if you don't know anything about it.
Yeah.
And it tells an important story.
Yeah. Even just like the thing about the animals was so cute.
Oh my god, the animals thing is just like, so that's the main element of racism that you see in the book as well.
Do you call that racism if it's against animals? Like, what's the term?
Yeah, well, it kind of is, because like the way that because like they're evolved animals, right? They're humanized animals. They're speaking, they're giving lectures, they're like Oxford lecturers, and what the wizard is doing is he's making them regressing, and he's putting them in cages, and he's dehumanizing them, right?
So is that basically why our animals don't talk?
What do you mean, our animals?
Like, maybe What I'm saying is maybe the writer was trying to tell the story of
Yes!
why. Excuse me, first of all. Maybe once upon a time our animals spoke, right? And he is telling the story of why our animals don't talk anymore because an evil person years ago took our animals' voices. Do you know what? Yeah. Do you know what?
We should interview him. I was like, so in the new book, I bought the new updated version of the book where he's written the foreword. And he writes about, like, he spent 4 days on set and he saw the sets and he was like, they're so bright and colourful. And he's like, you know, the Oz and the Shiz that I wrote about was much darker and grittier and blah, 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 blah. And it is. Like, you know the bit where they go to that party?
Yeah.
So in the book, they go to a sex club, essentially, where they're all like...
Okay! And it was getting down like that, yeah?
And the way that I understood it was like they were...
Is that what they write in the book? They say sex club?
They don't say sex club. They call it a thing, but essentially what it is they never write about what happens, but they're like, we never spoke about what happened that night.
Okay.
But it was like that thing of like, they all get picked to go on this stage and they know that they
like a burlesque club.
They do like sexy shit. Like how the box used to be kind of, but if people went and had sex at the box openly.
Listen, the box,
it was like that.
Into that.
I think
another time.
We'll get into the box. So
another day.
So it was really interesting because I was just like, oh, okay, they've, you know, it was the child friendly version, but I'm kind of like, actually, a few years from now, I want to see the dark, grimy version.
Oh my gosh, I feel like that scene was a bit.
The dance scene. That was how Glinda realized she was bullying Elfie.
Yeah, but it's just like. I don't think I like the choreography of the contemporary dance.
Yeah, Pilar was like, "What is she doing?" I was like, "She's voguing."
That wasn't even a vogue. I don't know. That was it was definitely giving like Martha Graham. Do you know what I mean?
I don't know who Martha Graham is.
She's like a contemporary legend.
Go and do something. Do it. Do something.
Pilar's
a dancer, you know. Oh yeah, honey.
That's what they were doing in the film.
See, listen, you watch any Bollywood film, everyone does that. So I was like, this is kind of Bollywood.
That's what they were doing, though, isn't it?
Yeah, it was kind of like, and then it was like, and then
guys, I don't remember anything to do with contemporary, but I don't know. I just think with who they were working with and what they had, like that dance scene could have been so much stronger. Okay. Like it's not like even think back in the day, you know, like Honey. Now you watch Honey.
I love Honey.
Okay, but even years later, even though now you're like, do you know what? Jessica Alba went hitting the moves.
Oh, I'm talking about Mariah's Honey. She's talking about Jessica. Okay.
Yeah, the film.
I was talking about Mariah.
But you know, like the dance scenes.
Oh, yeah.
Even like now we can watch it and we're like, do you know what? Back in the day as kids, we used to think those movies were
we used to think they were lit.
Like, but you can still watch it back and be like, that was an iconic dance scene.
Yeah.
Grease, iconic scenes.
Okay, have you seen Wednesday?
No.
They had a really iconic dance scene in Wednesday, actually. I'll send it to you. You like it.
That's my only feedback. Like I feel like the dance scene could have been
hire Pilar for the choreography.
I mean, I can't.
Don't hire her for the editing.
No, hire me for the editing, not for the choreography. Hire me for the feedback. No, I feel like because look who they're working with. They can both dance. They can both sing. Like, give us more. Do you know what I mean?
They had to make it like.
I feel like Raj is secretly on Ariana's pay.
Guys,
she's on her pay run.
I love Ariana, and it's not even it's not a secret.
Yeah,
it's not a secret.
That's why you're just like, no criticism will be.
I have no criticism. No, I really enjoyed Cynthia's dance bit. I was like, yeah, she's voguing. P. Why are you asking me what she's doing?
That wasn't a Vogue, sis.
It was a Cynthia Vogue.
No,
it was an Elphaba Vogue. And that also, we got context. That was the first party Elphaba's been to.
Yeah.
Because then she was like, well, do funerals count?
Oh my gosh. Do you know what? Yeah, talking about like Alpha's story, when she blamed herself for her sister's condition, that was the time my eyes were, well, you know.
I cried a few times. I definitely cried a few times. I think I cried at Popular just because I thought that was mainly for Ari, just crying for her.
Okay.
I was like, oh bless, Ari got her dream. And then
that was a fun song.
It was a fun song, and that was so funny. Like we were actually laughing. That the choreography was so funny. I cried at Defying Gravity, but I cried at a bit in the beginning, and I don't know
which
what
one was Defying Gravity. The last one.
The last one.
Okay, that's right.
It's just because it's an iconic song.
Okay.
So I was like, nah.
Do you know what I like though? I like that you had pointed out. Hold on, finish where else you cried.
I can't remember the other bit I cried at, but I was crying in the beginning at something, but I don't know what I was crying at. No idea.
Maybe you were just happy to be there.
I was just happy. I'm not even lying. I was actually happy. You know what? I was so...
I love it for you.
Within 5 minutes, within the first 30 seconds, I was like, wow, the sets are beautiful. The colours are beautiful.
The sets were incredible.
Stunning. Yeah. And like, there's a lot of jokes going around at the moment online where like people are taking like screenshots from movies and they're like young people need to learn how to color grade because colours are off in so many films, right? And I was like, this is fucking technicolor, okay? Like, this is giving us movie, this is giving us cinema, and this is like, it was like stuff that we had grown up with but elevated. It was,
this was definitely elevated.
Yeah. And I loved that, and I just thought, nah, this is beautiful. This is actually beautiful. It was beautiful.
Yeah, it was good. It was.
So maybe I just cried at it being beautiful. I was on my period starting in like 3 days.
What was I going to say? Yeah, the other thing I liked about the show is when you told me that, you know, when they get to Emerald City and some of the
OG Glinda and OG
Yeah,
Alphabet.
I love the inclusion of them. I wouldn't have known that if Raj wasn't there. But
yeah, I was like, Pilar, you know who they are.
like from 20 years ago. That was good. I like that.
So they've both been in Glee, I think, as well. Yeah.
Okay.
So
listen, this pipeline, from like a musical theatre to TV to film, I love it. I love it.
I'm here for it.
Because sometimes they say that people go into theatre because they're not getting what they want or getting the jobs they want in TV or film.
Yeah.
But then I love that also like musical theatre is getting like people are putting respect on its name because it's a proper art form. Like
100%.
Live every single day. That's insane.
Yeah, you got to hit those notes. You got to hit your steps, your marks, everything, and know all your lines.
And if you
and your interactions with your cast members, like all of that, like come on, man. And stage presence, you know, it's something that a lot of screen actors don't have.
Yeah, they can't do.
So
and also like screen actors get to retake things, like retake, like let's go. You can't do that live.
And that's why it was just amazing that they sang this shit live.
Yeah, that's impressive.
It was fucking crazy.
Also, they looked like they were having fun.
Yeah. The other thing actually that we wanted to talk about, and I think we haven't talked about this yet, is Cynthia's experience in the press run.
Yes. Okay. Do you know what's so sad about that? Yeah, it's because Cynthia's obviously British talent, right?
Yeah,
she's British talent. She started out in the UK and ended up in
America.
America.
She was in Chewing Gum.
Yeah. She said Michaela Cole gave her first like TV kind of role, gave her that kind of opportunity, but Cynthia wasn't getting what she deserved here.
Yeah.
And I'm so happy that she's now like gone over to America where they celebrate. Do you know what? The UK is going to keep losing its talent if it keeps moving like that. Like, put some respect on her name, please.
And you're not losing just that on-screen talent. You're losing behind-the-scenes talent as well.
Yeah, 100%.
Because everyone's ready to leave.
100%. And I think there's just so many things that play into that, like the erasure of black women, not celebrating your own talent. And also, it's just disrespectful when she's a main character.
Yeah, one thing that like we noticed was I think one of the last premieres we saw was the London premiere. And you know, the next day all of the tabloids just had Ari on all the covers and didn't have any pictures of Cynthia, who's the fucking lead actress. It was just so embarrassing. And it was this thing that Munya like made a sketch the next day.
Oh, so good.
And he said, what was it? Everyone's suffering from IBS and it's ignoring black success. It was so fucking funny, but I feel like that's going to be like our low-key thing now. Oh,
yeah, IBS. All over the gaff.
Yeah.
IBS.
And it was that thing of like, I was saying to Pilar, like that, you know, she's on her way to becoming an EGOT. And
I don't really know what an EGOT is, you know.
An EGOT is like when you win 4 of the biggest American awards going to like
a Tonys,
an Emmy, a Tony, a Grammy, an Oscar.
Wow.
Right?
Yeah.
And she's on her way. It's going to happen. It's just a matter of time now before it happens.
Do you know what? I would love for that to happen to her and her to
she's going to become the youngest EGOT.
Wow.
That's what Cynthia is going to become. So it's just that thing of like, Britain's just so embarrassing when it comes down to things like that.
Facts.
And when you see talent like go to America, and like I think Cynthia I haven't heard her speak out about this, but you know, we always see London Hughes talking about it.
Yeah.
Like she will shout about it to whoever's going to listen. And it's that thing of like, just like, you don't get the work here. You don't get, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then over there, all of a sudden you're getting celebrated. All of a sudden you're getting a Netflix special. All of a sudden you're getting your TV ideas getting commissioned. And do you know what I mean? It's just kind of like, embarrassing.
It's so embarrassing. I think I did see something that was Cynthia not happy with something that happened on the posters? Were fans making their own version? What was that about?
So with Wicked the musical, so it's got a very famous poster which these guys recreated for the movie, obviously with real people. What happened was a TikToker, she was like, oh, like I want to recreate this poster to make it look more like the original from the musical. So she kind of like put the brim of Elphabet's hat like lower, and I think she recolored Elfie's lips, because in the musical poster the lips are red and Cynthia rocked green lips throughout, right? So she did that, and she retouched Ari a little bit as well, like her hand placement and things like that. And basically Cynthia like was super upset about it, and she was like, this is like you're erasing my identity.
Yeah, fair.
And a lot of people kicked off over that, and people were kind of like, what, it's not that deep. And on one hand, I get it, it's not that deep, like you're just trying to recreate a poster. But on the other hand, given the context that we all now have at the end of this press tour, it kind of is that deep.
It is that deep for her. It's just one thing after another. That was just like the tip of the icing, probably.
And I think it is just that like she's a black woman in a very visible industry where she's constantly having to fight erasure.
Yeah,
which is crazy
because she's cast for like the biggest shows.
Yeah,
but then when it comes to press, they don't want to give her flowers.
And she's so celebrated in the States. Like, it's,
yeah, they put respect on her name. And do you know what's difficult about it? It's just that you can tell like her and Ariana have so much respect for each other that it must be also hard for Ariana, like,
oh my god, 100
doing this press tour, and then it's just like I don't think she's trying to take the shine away from.
Oh
her
my
friends.
god,
do you know what I mean? So that must be a tricky situation to navigate. But the other thing is, actually, I thought a lot of Ariana's character reflected her real life, because I know that she's also friends with like Victoria Monet. Victoria has written for her, sang with her, toured with her. I feel like throughout her career, she's always like willing to celebrate her friends and put them on as well, 100. Regardless of whether they're as big as her or not. So when I was watching that bit, I was like, you know what? This reminds me of like her actual character. This is like her in real life.
I think so. It felt like that for me as well too, but it's just because obviously I love her.
No, I will give that to Ariana. Like and I feel like she does it correctly. Like she gives her friends flowers correctly. There's certain singers out there, yeah, we've never seen them put anybody on, and they've been around for years.
Yeah. We all know people like that in our industries, right?
Yeah, 100%.
We all know.
So I love that. Like she's a real lover of raw talent, and her friends like.
Yeah. And I was even saying, I was telling Pilar this story of like, obviously I've watched so much stuff from the press run or whatever, but there's this thing of like Cynthia was talking about how, because Ari edits all of her own audio, right, for all of her albums and all of that, they were responsible to each other for giving feedback on their singing, and Ari would like record different takes of Cynthia and send them to her and be like, which one do you prefer more? And whatever Cynthia approved, Ari would put in the final like lay down of like what the track was going to sound like.
Oh, wow, that's good.
Which is crazy.
Yeah, but also that's just like having respect for the people you work with. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like not trying to be, you know those people that can't work in teams. I don't know. They're always trying to take credit for everything and everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, we're leaving those people in 2024.
It's really nice actually to see two women like sort of killing it together and letting each other shine and appreciating each other's shine, and working together like that, and yeah, just killing it at the end of the year. A nice way to wrap up the year, to be honest, especially like considering Sydney Sweeney had all these comments recently being like, everyone's always talking about women supporting women, but I don't see any of it in Hollywood. I'm kind of like, okay, here's one example of it.
Exhibit A
exists. So let's hope Exhibit B comes through.
Yeah, but I still don't really get why they're crying in the press run. Was it an emotional experience?
Babe, this is like their dream roles. It's like one of the most iconic musicals in the world.
Yeah, but babe, you might do that at the first press conference. I'm just trying to understand. Is it because the experience was are they reliving the experience and they're just like sad that they're not working together anymore?
Yeah, I think this is it. They spent a year working together.
Yeah.
And then like obviously the next time they'll be doing something together is the next press run.
Okay.
I guess.
Okay.
And I think it's just.
Or did something else happen?
They've all got matching tattoos. I told you, Ari and Cynthia have got matching tattoos, like multiple matching tattoos.
That's so cute. Okay. I don't know if that really, but okay.
Like, imagine if you were like, just put yourself in as a theatre kid, right? And like you've grown up watching this musical, and you were like, oh, that's my dream to like be in that musical. And all of a sudden, lo and behold, you're in that fucking musical that you thought you'd be in as a kid.
Yeah, but it wouldn't be every interview. Do you know what I mean?
I don't know. I think they just love each other.
Yeah. Okay.
Also,
see, but that's a fair answer.
But I also feel like they're probably tired. Okay, they're traveling around the world.
Yeah.
And I'm hormonal right now. Maybe they're fucking hormonal.
I ain't seen you cry in years.
I cried. You saw me cry. You saw me cry in the cinema. She saw me cry at the cinema. She didn't see me actually. I styled it out so well. But no, you know, like I just think it's cute.
Yeah, one thing I did notice though, obviously I've seen everyone talking about their bodies and stuff and how skinny they look. On camera, they looked great.
They look great.
They look great.
They look great, yeah.
The skinny was eating.
The skinny was, yeah.
They looked amazing. The waists were snatched.
Oh yeah, we were like, wow, snatched, honey, snatched. Obviously,
maybe they just did it to get into character,
putting us to shame, innit? It's okay.
Soon come, don't worry, guys.
It's okay. We're at the gym, girls. We're on a diet, even though Nando's.
We're on a calorie deficit, like 3 out of 7 days a week. No, 4. I'll say 4.
5.
5. Okay, 5. Fair.
Oh, it's alright. It doesn't matter.
It is what it is.
It's Christmas now.
Yeah,
It's fine.
Go again.
It's okay. New year, new me.
I think that's a nice way to wrap it up.
Okay.
Yeah.